Alright, so welcome back to Photoshop, and this is going to be the third installment of Vanishing Point, and I'm going to show you, before we kind of copied and pasted, so I'm going to show you how to clone or use the stamp tool. So we have this image here, and we can go ahead and create that new layer like we've done before. Go up to Vanishing Point, and we're just going to go ahead and create a grid. Now this building is kind of not in perspective, so we're just going to leave it like that. If I was to stretch this out and actually find this building, you can see it's turning red. There's just something majorly wrong there with that, so we'll just assume that this building is actually straight. Just one of those old places that no matter what you ever did, it would never be perfect. So we'll just kind of create this grid and make it a little bit longer. So up here we have the stamp tool. And so this stamp tool is going to let us stamp in perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a clone of this door just because it's green and it will stand out. So I'm holding down that Alt or Option key in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and select it. So now you can see I've got a clone of that. And as I move it in, it's reducing it in size. And as I move it out, it increases. Okay? So what it's doing is it's cloning but in perspective. Normally when you would clone, no matter where you went, it would be exactly the same size. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and clone this area, and then I can put it over that area. So if I wanted to take out this window here, I can come down here and kind of clone that, and then go ahead and kind of paint it over. It doesn't look great. I'll probably do this over again. Let's see, diameter. Let's make this smaller. So what we're cloning isn't so big. So that's making it smaller. So you can see as I increase this, it's increasing the area that we clone or how big the clone is, and we can go ahead and go over that. So if I wanted to take this area and replace it with that, you see it's picking up that pipe, which I don't want. So we can come over there and just go ahead and replace. So that's using the clone stamp tool. There's also a paintbrush, and you can do the kind of the same with the paintbrush. As you get smaller, it reduces the size, and as you go out, it gets bigger. Now, this is literally just painting a default color, which is this brush color right here. So if you wanted to change it to red, you could make it red, and then you can see we've got red there. I'm just literally painting in perspective, or I can turn this on to heal, and it's working kind of like the healing brush. So if I come down here and just paint over that area, the color doesn't really matter. It's just acting as a healing brush. So if I wanted, there's things that I wanted to remove, like let's say I don't like these little black lines below just kind of dripping out. That doesn't look too good. It's letting us clone, so let's say I want to get rid of some of that. I can go over and heal it. Now, obviously painting red is not the best idea. And it's only going to work inside this grid, so you notice when I come over here, it's not going to heal in perspective because we haven't created one. So if you want it to work, it needs to be inside one of your grids. So you could always extend it and make it bigger. So we're going to go ahead and hit cancel. We'll go over to this next one. So we have this building here. So we're going to go back up to Vanishing Point, and we will set a grid here. There. You can see once again these old buildings sometimes are not straight, and Photoshop wants it to be straight. That's why we're not getting blue. Now, just because it's not blue doesn't mean that it won't work. So just because you're not getting blue like this doesn't mean anything. If you want to work in yellow or red, it will still work. It's just now telling you that it's straight. So I can come over here and I can hold down the command key and create my grid for that side as well. So now I have one over here, one over here. So I can come in here with my stamp tool, and let's see, I'm gonna reduce the size of this to maybe like 20, and I can come in here and start removing areas by using the stamp tool. So in this case, let's see, it looks about that big. We're going to make it bigger. I want a pretty big one, so I can come here and I can just go ahead and clone that right out. So that is using the stamp. And then if you wanted to use that healing brush, there are areas in here. You can see I can make it bigger or smaller. I'm just using a bracket key like normal. It seems to do it very soft. Not a huge fan of it. I don't know why you would use the healing brush in this. It doesn't seem to work quite as good as a normal one. So I think the stamp tool in this case is more effective in doing stuff in perspective. I have to say it's not something I would probably use a lot, but it's something that you might need to use on occasion. So hopefully that's been helpful, and you can see how to clone using Vanishing Point in Adobe Photoshop. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below, and don't forget to subscribe.